Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my Christmas Clean and Decorate with me. I'm so excited and happy that you came back and are watching part 2, and if this is your first video, thank you for watching. I am so excited for today's video because I am finishing up my decorations on my main floor, and right now I am just moving some of my daughter Josie's toys out of the way because I love to put my Christmas tree in front of that bay window. And right here I'm cleaning out one of the shelves on our entertainment center. I love this thing. It has barn doors and it's super cute, but I have so many mugs that I decided to use those as decor this year. I like to add some pops of Christmas on these gallery walls, but I don't like to do too much so it's overwhelming. If you watched my last video, you know that this 10-piece village set is my favorite find of the year from Target, but I just had some other things that I wanted to put in the kitchen, so you'll see how I style and use the 10-piece village set in a different area, and I am obsessed with how it turned out. So now I'm just tinkering around with some things to put in this open space. I have a pretty long counter space here, and so I just wanted to put some decor to break it up a little bit. I love this Cookies for Santa jar, so I really wanted to incorporate it, but I was having a hard time and I was struggling to find a good fit with the Cookies for Santa jar, and I actually end up switching out what I finalize here. It's kind of the beauty of decorating. You can go back and forth, you can move things around. I was even grabbing some pieces of decor that I had used in other places to see if I liked it better here. So it's not a perfect fit each time, and I don't use the same decor in each space year after year, but I like to just play around with it and see what kind of makes it fresh and new. It's kind of interesting watching these back because I'm realizing that I liked that fake green tree in this area way more than I did when I was playing around with it, and it just goes to show that it's important to sometimes set things up and take a step back. So here is my absolute favorite Christmas decoration, my village set. I'm getting this set up in our playroom, family room area. We got these shelves from IKEA and we love them for the toy storage. And I am just setting up the village set, but now I'm adding extra trees, and I love how this turns out. I kind of just go up with the height, so as I get farther away from the houses, my trees get taller and taller. So I really had no idea how this was going to turn out. I just played around with it, and I have a bunch of different trees, so I knew I wanted to use them. And last year in January, I actually consolidated all of my trees that were just neutral colors or green and used those in my kitchen and did like a treescape behind my sink, and I absolutely loved it. So I was thinking I could put a bunch of them here, and I love the way it turns out. Also, if you're wondering what's above the village set, we just installed a display for kids' artwork, and I'm so excited to use that and display Josie's and Jax's artwork once they, of course, start doing things. Now, how beautiful is that with it lit up? I'm obsessed with the village set. Now I'm moving on to my mantle, and this is the Norfolk Real Touch pine garland that I'm sure you've seen before. It's all over the place, but I got it from Kirkland's, and I love, love, love how it turned out on my mantle. This garland is so easy to manipulate and it's so drapey, so it's easy to hang it off the end of your mantle and to take pieces and drape it off the corners too. Now I'm bringing in this, it's kind of frosted. I wouldn't necessarily say it's flocked, but it's a little bit frosted, and it has some red berries in it just to add some more dimension. And I really do like it. This countdown to Christmas I just set up is one of my favorite things, and I actually made it, and I made it at, it's called AR Workshop, and they just have like a bunch of different crafts that you can do, and I went with people that I worked with, and I just love how it turned out and how it's personalized. I think it's super cute. These green trees are so beautiful. I found them at Hobby Lobby this year, and I knew I wanted them to be on a main display that I look at and see all the time, and so I put them up here with this glittery gold nutcracker, and I think it's the perfect little addition to this edge of my mantle. So I wanted to mention this tip. I hung up my first stocking and I put down the hook, but before I put down the second hook, I actually hung the stocking on the hook and then played around with where I wanted the hook. So instead of just sticking the second hook down and then hanging the stocking up and being disappointed or having to move it because I didn't like where the stocking landed, if you put the stocking on the hook before you stick it down, it lets you move it around and find out where you actually want to put it, and then your stockings will be perfectly spaced out. So you'll see here I just have those command hooks, and when you step back you can hardly notice them. The two closest to the garland actually get covered up by the garland, so you definitely don't see those either. Now I am just adding some twinkly lights. I think that at night when your tree is glowing, it's just so cozy, and so I wanted to try and recreate elements of that all over my house. So that's why I think I love the little village so much, because that lights up at night, and now I'm adding twinkle lights to the garland on the mantle, and it just creates such a cozy atmosphere and vibe, and it's just what I want in the winter and during Christmas time. I'm just adding these beautiful gold bells for just kind of an extra touch by my stockings. Okay, if this is not real life, I don't know what is. The barn set in the bottom right corner, but anyways, I'm obsessed with my mantle. She's so cute. I love her, and I am just thrilled with how it turned out. So a handful of days later, Jared got the tree out for me and he set it up. So all I'm doing right now is I'm going through and I am separating the branches and just making it look full. The tree actually didn't look too smashed from being in storage all year, so that was exciting, but there was definitely gaps and holes, and so I definitely wanted to fluff it up and make it look a little fuller. I love this tree. I will say it's not pre-lit, so I do have to light it, and that is time consuming and a bummer, but if the lights go out, then I can just change a strand, and that's really helpful. But I think it's worth it for the cost. I got it at Walmart for under $200, which I feel like is a steal. And I love that it's flocked. It's so pretty when it's lit up at night, and you'll get to see it. So I want to know, are you a person who loves your Christmas decor flocked, or are you someone who just loves straight up greenery? I go back and forth and I love both. I had actually 3 trees last year and I got rid of the other 2 and just kept this flocked one. And so it was kind of weird just putting up one flocked one and not having just like a normal traditional tree. I looked at the viral Home Depot tree and it is beautiful, but it was just not something I wanted to spend the money on this year, and I still love this tree. So let me know in the comments below, are you team flocked trees or are you not flocked? I'm like cracking up at myself rewatching this because I'm trying to separate and fluff up the top of this tree, and I have a perfectly good step stool that is like 2 rooms over, but of course I didn't want to go get that, so I am, like stretching on my tiptoes trying to separate this when I could have just made my life easier and gotten a step stool. Are you the same way? I don't know what it is. I just don't want to get it out. I'd rather, climb on the counter to reach something up high, or apparently, reach on my tiptoes and not do as good of a job. So now I am adding lights to the tree. I really love how these bright LED lights look on the flocked tree. It's so bright, and I feel like the flocked with these bright lights just go perfectly together. So when I'm stringing these lights on, I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I do try to tuck them in deep because I feel like it can like illuminate more of the tree, and so you don't need necessarily as many lights. But I will say you don't have to be perfect with this, because once you start putting your ribbon and your ornaments, it's going to look beautiful and it's going to be cozy anyway. So just get the lights on, don't stress about it too much, and then get to the fun part. So after my lights are on, I'm going in with ribbon. A couple years back, I saw trees with ribbon and I just thought they were absolutely beautiful, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I watched a couple of YouTube videos. There are a couple different styles that you can do. And on this tree, I actually used two different kinds of ribbons. So this first one that you see me using is a burlap with red snowflakes, and I just cut strips and bent it in half, and so it looks like I have two bubbles that are coming out when I put each piece of ribbon in, and I'm just sticking them into the tree, and I will use a branch to solidify one or both of the ends of the ribbon so they don't fall out. And then it kind of just looks like you have pieces of ribbon that are coming out of your tree organically. And then you'll see I use this black and white buffalo check ribbon, and I don't do it in the same way. So I actually twist it so it looks sort of like a spiral, and then I insert it into the tree the same way. But I love the mixture of the two ribbons. I think it looks really pretty. My tree is definitely a rustic, woodsy, cozy vibe, and so these ribbons go perfectly with that. I know it's, kind of dated, but I love that look, and so I don't think I will ever stop. It's important to continue to do the things you love and not just the things that are popular. I can get caught up and wrapped in like what is new and cute. I like a ton of things, and so sometimes I'm like chasing the trends, especially with decorating, and so every time I decorate my tree, it just reminds me, okay, I love this style, and so you don't have to buy things brand new each year. You can keep things you like even if they're not in style. And I've seen online a bunch of things that have said, those things you bring back year after year, those are the things that your kids are going to remember and have core memories from. And that was eye-opening to me, and I was like, okay, that is so true. But that's also not to say if you see something cute, you shouldn't get it. I totally think you should. I have an ongoing list on my phone right now, actually, that are ideas that I've had that I want to decorate with, but I just don't, have the time or want to spend the money this year to decorate. So those are ideas that I'm going to use for next year. So for example, I've loved the green and blue plaid that I've been seeing, and I love the moody like blue and green decorations and ornaments on trees. And so in our primary bedroom, that's definitely something that I want to try and do, is add a tree in there with the blue and the green. So now I'm going through and I'm adding ornaments, and you'll see how at first when I just had the lights and the ribbon, the tree looked kind of wonky, but now that I'm adding the ornaments, it's really coming together. A tip when you're putting your ornaments on, I like to collect the ornaments that I have duplicates of. So a lot of times I'll have ornaments that I have 3 or 6 of, and then I try to space them around the tree so you don't have 2 of the same ornament ending up next to each other. And I do think it's so important to decorate the back of your tree. I just think it solidifies the look and it makes it look more uniform. If you're noticing the lights flickering, my husband was trying to set up the lights so they automatically come on and go off every day in an app. So my lights are not going out. We were just playing with them to make sure they were set up in this app. But I so love decorating a tree. What are you like? Do you love the act of decorating it, or do you just love it once it's decorated and you get to sit by it and it's cozy? Alright, so here's an overview of my tree. I love it. Each year I love it even more. It's just so cozy, and if I could keep it up all year, I probably would, but my husband would kill me. So that is absolutely it for my Christmas clean and decorates with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you missed part 1, please go back and watch it. I would so appreciate it. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you. And I make lots of content like this, decorating, mom life, cleaning, all of that. So come back for more Christmas content this month, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.